Have a nice day, Wendy. Let's talk maritime security now. And the third Coastal and Maritime Surveillance Africa Conference and Defense Exhibition is happening. It will happen on our soil. But beyond that, we'll have a conversation about some other issues, shortage of vessels, surveillance technologies that are available, how African countries are unable to share information, which will give rise to theft, which will give rise to theft of oil, petroling, light fishing, smuggling, and blah, blah, blah. I've been joined this morning by Naval Captain Issa Yakubu, is Chief Staff Officer at the Naval Headquarters and also Chair of the Main Planning Committee for the Coastal and Maritime Surveillance Conference. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Great.
For having me.
Absolutely. There's Pawan Kulkami, his IQPC Divisional Director, Defense and Security, International Quality and Productivity Center.
Thank you.
Center.
Pleasure
Good morning. Thank you. How are you doing? It's your first time in Ghana?
Well, actually, I've been here before, and I'm enjoying it.
Right, you're enjoying it.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes.
Naval Captain, let me start with you on this one. How is it that we say we're united as Africans and yet we're unable to share information which will give us so much trouble on our waters? What exactly is the problem?
The problem is mostly, I would say, it is in different levels. The first, I would say, is technology. You need to have the technology to be able to share information because we are not physically together. We are direction. We are now all establishing what we call maritime operations centers. And from those centers, we are able to speak to each other. So it's not as bad as it used to be. And in not too long ago, there was a summit of heads of states of Africa, mostly West and Central Africa.
Right.
And the aim was to deal about this. How do we share info? Not just sharing information, but how do we collaborate in totality to deliver maritime security to our common global waters? And the heads of state determined that they signed what we call a code of conduct for maritime security. And that code of conduct was to give way the operatives, the authority, and the direction to be able to work together.
How much do we lose as a continent if we have smuggling going on, if we have oil theft going on, all those negative stuff? How much do we lose?
In totality, I hear figures around $2 to $2.5 billion a year.
Wow.
That's what we lose in the Gulf of Guinea. And it's through the theft of our fish. You know, in the Gulf of Guinea, the international law, what we call the United Nations Conventions on the Law of the Sea, allows every country to exploit up to 200 nautical miles off your coast. So whatever resources are within that area belongs to the country. Fish is the #1 resource that we have. And as you know, 60% of our protein intake comes from fish. Recently, you know, we've discovered oil and gas, and it's also huge. All these belong to Ghana. But if we don't have what it takes to protect it, someone else will come and take it. And we are aware of factory ships coming from all over the world, take the fish, can it, and sell it back to us.
Interesting. We'll get more into that conversation, but Pawan, let me turn my attention to you now. What's your role in all of this? You belong to our International Quality and Productivity Center. What is it? What's your role in all of this?
We are basically a global conference organizer, and we work very closely with all of the important government organizations. And we, as Captain Issa was saying, there is definitely a deficiency or a shortage between people and technology. So that's what we, as a conference organizer, try to get people, processes, and technology to work in tandem with each other to achieve better results. And that's what we do. So we organize conferences across the globe.
So someone would ask, you're not African, does it concern you?
Sorry?
Someone would ask, you're not African, does it concern you?
Well,
that we have problems on African waters?
Well, we are, what we do is we kind of get people together, and as much as it concerns an African that, you know, security or surveillance is a big concern, it concerns me also as, you know, as a member of the human community. So the security of Africa is very critical for the security of the globe. And
Naval Captain speaks about technologies that we don't have lack of it. What new things are available now to fight this canker on our waters?
So if we look at it, more details into technological aspects, I think Captain Issa would be able to give it to you, or the visitors would love to see at the conference, which is
we'll get to the conference later, but let's talk about the technologies.
As of now, we've seen that earlier on, it was just a normal monitoring kind of a scenario where people were used to monitor cameras, CCTV, etc. Now we see it moving to another platform where you have the information which is coming from these sources is turned into actionable intelligence.
Okay. Explain that to me. I'm confused now.
Okay. All right. So you get to know. In fact, he would be able to tell you more about it.
Let me go to him.
Absolutely.
Then. So Naval Captain, he's talking about we're moving from CCTV's monitoring to now having info that will be actionable. What does it mean exactly?
Thank you very much. And I would say that this conference that we are coming to talk about has helped a lot. The first conference was held in 2014. And I can tell you that for the 3 years now, we have moved from when we had what we called complete sea blindness.
Okay.
That me as a Navy personnel, the only information I had to rely on was sending ships out to sea and to look out for what is there. Today, as we speak, if you come to my office, we have what we call a maritime operations center.
Okay.
We have what we call the AIS, Automatic Identification System, which is like a satellite system monitoring the sea. We have radars, if you've heard about radars, picking up all shipping that is moving.
Exactly.
And we also have the optical cameras he's talking about. So sitting in my office today, I know everything that is going on at sea.
Is that enough?
It's not enough. It can always be better, but people don't live on the sea, so you have to find means of knowing what is going on there. It can certainly be better, but we've come a long way. And this conference brings together experts in that field. They are constantly researching into new technology. Then they are also bringing in the defense chiefs who have the caliber to make the right decisions.
So they come to tell us, the experts who are researching come, defense chiefs come, they tell us about it. And yet we have a shortage of vessels. Where do we go from here? Cover this. Are we able to handle the thing with just having information and knowledge on paper?
Yes, that is what we call strategy. And a celebrated American general called General Colin Powell once said that it's all these things talk about strategy is good. But tell me your budget and I'll tell you what your strategy is. All the good strategies can be available. If you don't have the money to buy those technologies, then your strategy does not work.
Is it fair to say that you're deficient in that direction in terms of budget support?
I would say we've come a long way. Before we discovered oil, there was total sea blindness. There was no political will to actually invest in maritime security. But since the discovery of oil, governments have been very upbeat.
Are you supposed to be looking for the money, or they're supposed to be giving you the money? Governments?
Government, we are a subvented organization.
Absolutely.
So
are you getting what you need to protect all of us?
We are not getting it all. We are in a poor country, but we are getting a fair share.
When we say we're in a poor country, we have our ministers driving V8 and air conditioned and all of that. We have a lot of money, certainly.
I can't go into that.
I know you can't go in that, but those are my words. But then I find it quite strange that here's what you're promising and here's all you're telling us. I went to Tema Newtown about a month ago, and the fisher folks there were telling us about how folks use dynamite, light to fish there, and sometimes the dead fish are put back into the ocean. And this is right proximity closer to the naval command there. It's so close, and we have all this. There's a marine police there as well. Are we handicapped to deal with these people? Because if we can't deal with them, how do we deal with the pirates?
There are aspects of this. We're doing our best. We have what we call the fisheries.
Is the best enough, Naval Captain?
Yes, it's good enough for now. We have what we call the fisheries enforcement unit. It includes the Navy, the police, the fisheries department, national security, and other bodies. We come together and then we enforce these laws. But sometimes politics comes into it. What we have to do is that we have enough laws to be able to seize all the nets that are being used.
So why are we not
illegal
succeeding?
nets. As I said, sometimes, you know, we are in a democracy now. People will take you to court or they will make all kinds of political noises, and it can affect the way we work. But we do it, it's not as bad as you're saying it. We're doing our best.
Let me come to you, Pawan. Let's talk about that conference. When is it happening?
Well, it's from 27th, 28th, and 29th of March at the Accra Convention Center.
Okay, so today, starting today?
Yes, today.
Right. Okay, and where's the venue again? One more time.
The Accra Convention Center.
Where's that? Where's Accra?
Accra International Conference Center.
Oh, Accra International Conference
But today
Center.
is, we call
Yeah,
it a
the
pre-conference day.
Okay.
It's a site visit. So they are visiting the Air Force base. You know, the Air Force has a major role to play in maritime security.
Right.
Because they do the maritime patrols. They can see a wider area, and when they see any incidents, they report
Yeah,
back to the Navy.
Right.
So we're going to visit there, see what capabilities they have for maritime surveillance. After that, we are taking them to Tema, where we have our naval ships and other capabilities. Interestingly, there is a multinational maritime exercise going on now involving over 30 countries.
Wow.
So those delegates would be able to observe that exercise live.
Let me come to Pawan. So this is the pre-conference, and then what happens tomorrow? Is that all we'll have today?
So today we have the site visit.
Right.
Tomorrow and day after are the two important days of the conference. We have close to 30 countries participating at this conference, sharing best practices with each other. And it's moved on from where it was a couple of editions ago to now. So I'm very, very happy and honored.
Tell us
to be
about
here.
personalities who will be coming for this. We've been told that defense chiefs, you know, experts and all of that. But tell us some of the people, since you're the organizers, tell us some of the people we must see.
Well, so we are actually organizing the event with the support of Ghana Navy and Ghana Armed Forces.
Right.
So we're extremely honored to see, we've invited the Vice President of the country, the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, all the three chiefs. So that's the Chief of Navy, Chief of Army, Chief of Air Force. We have possibly the Honorable Ministers of National Security, Transportation, and a few other dignitaries, VIP dignitaries as well.
Interesting.
Expected.
Absolutely. We'll try and pass by. What time is this starting today?
It starts at 7:30.
7:30 a.m. So
Yes.
let's say ETA 35 minutes now.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Naval Captain Isaiah Kubo. Grateful for your time. Maybe if I give you 30 seconds, what will be your closing thoughts?
My closing thought is that the sea that we have is now the cash cow of this country. There is a lot that we can gain from it economically. 95% of our sea trade comes from the sea. 60% of our protein intake comes from the sea. And also we now have the oil and gas, which is going to transform our economy. We need to invest to keep it safe. So that is what I'll say. And this conference is one of the measures that would help us to achieve.
Naval Captain Isaiah Kubo is Chief Staff Officer at the Naval Headquarters here in Accra. Is also the Chair of the Planning Committee of the upcoming conference. Paral Kokami is IQPC Divisional Director, Defense and Security. And thank you very much, gentlemen. I wish you all the best.
Thank
Now,
you.
the new